na pagkapapay ilitulog. Hi everybody, welcome back to the club where we talk about all things spooky. Today we are going back to the motherland because we are going to talk about paranormal things from the Philippines. Don't mind the nails because I'm undecided on which design I'm gonna do, so don't look at them. They're a work in progress. Again, we come through Reddit to find some paranormal stories, but today it's from the Philippines because last episode we did not paranormal. We did real stories, I guess, because we don't know it's Reddit, but we had real stories from real experiences, but I guess it's more from the United States. But today we have Namiswan Imnida doing any real horror experience, and they share their own horror experience, and there's a lot of paranormal experiences in the comments. So first we're gonna do their story and then we're just gonna see what's next. Today we have here, hey guys, I wanted to share a scary experience I had during the trip to the Philippines. I was born and raised in the Philippines until I was 11, and then my family moved to Canada. Living in Canada, I kind of left all the ghost stories and paranormal stuff behind. It's not really something we take seriously here. But after being in Canada for 7 years, my mom decided to take my siblings and me back to the Philippines for a vacation. Even though I left when I was very young, I stayed in touch with some childhood friends who still live there. Many of them have families now, so instead of going out, I invited them to come over to our house for lunch or dinner. Our family house in the Philippines has always been known as the haunted house in the neighborhood. But since I didn't really believe in that stuff anymore, I never gave it much thought. I'd spend hours alone in the house and never felt anything weird. One of my closest friends who had recently given birth agreed to visit, and since I'm her baby's godmother, I asked her to bring her baby along too. I told my grandma that my friend was coming over and she offered to go to the market to buy something special to cook for us. I decided to stay home so my friend wouldn't have to wait outside with her baby, especially since it was just my grandma and me at the house. My siblings had other plans. My friend arrived about 10 minutes after my grandma left and her baby was asleep in her arms. I told her she could put him in one of the rooms so he wouldn't be disturbed while we caught up. Once the baby was settled, we went back to the living room to chat. As soon as she sat down though, she stood right back up. Her eyes locked on the kitchen. Our house isn't that big. When you're in the living room, you can see straight into the kitchen and dining area. She said, I'm going to go say hi to your grandma and introduce myself. I told her, sure, once she gets back from the market. She looked at me confused and asked, isn't that your grandma in the kitchen right now? No. My hair on my body stood on end. Me too, yeah, me too. I laughed nervously, thinking she was messing with me. That's impossible, I said. She just left to buy food. My friend's expression changed and she asked, then who is the woman with short hair wearing white duster or house dress standing in your kitchen? No. My grandma has short hair, but she hasn't seen my friend for a very long time. I felt a chill run down my spine. I shook my head and told her, my grandma is wearing a blue duster today and I've been here alone. We both cautiously went to check the kitchen, but no one was there. Just as we were trying to make sense of what she saw, we heard her baby crying from the room where we had left him. He had finally woken up. We decided not to dwell on it, brushed it off, and focused on the baby instead. But honestly, that moment has saved me ever since. My body has full on chills right now. I can't. As I've mentioned from the last episode, I'm a skeptic when it comes to paranormal stuff. But this one I cannot debunk. And that's just creepy. And I don't know what to say to that. I thought the baby crying and waking up has more story to it, but I guess not. Because when I read that, like the baby waking up, I immediately thought of the Insidious scene where the mother saw something behind the crib. Ugh, that was scary. But on to the next story. This one is in the Filipino language. So, they said, na-experience ng airmat ko yung kwentong tumawag yung patay. College student pa ako, tapos around 3 a.m. biglang may katok ng katok sa pinto ko, parang may nangyaring kung ano. Pagbukas ko, mama ko putlang-putla. Pinakita sa akin yung phone niya, ring ng ring. Sabi ko, anong problema, ba't di mo sinasagot? Sabi niya, patay na yung may-ari ng number na yon. Kakagaling lang nila sa lamay at kasama sa kabaong yung phone niya at ilang personal na gamit din. Pinapilit niya sa akin sagutin, pero ayun nga, walang sumasagot sa kabila pero hindi rin binababa. Though ramdam ko na parang may nasa kabila nga. Nokia days pa to, wala pang Android kaya mas personal yung phone noon. Kung sayo, sayo lang. Tinawagan ni Ermet kinaumagahan yung relative ng namatayan at nagulat siya na ilan-ilan sa kanila tinawagan din ng 3 a.m. ng madaling araw. At first, super nangingilabot ako, but then I started debunking it. I said, maybe may-ari na ng ibang phone number or may nang paprank ganun, like, di ba may nagagawa sa Google na gamit yung ibang parang name sa phone tapos tatawagan, basta something like that, di ba nagagawa yun ngayon? But then they said Nokia days pa to, so this was a long time ago. I think wala pang mga ganun na prank calls na may caller ID, right? I can't debunk this. I thought I was gonna debunk this because there's prank calls like that. I mean, prank calls are diabolical when it comes to like dead people, but there are people that are like that. Next story. Nakikitulog ako lagi dati sa isang room sa bahay ng girlfriend ko. Every 4 a.m. lagi akong nagigising at napapatingin ako sa isang sulok ng room. Feeling ko meron akong kasama doon kasi tumatayo lagi ang balahibo ko sa buong katawan. Madalas ako makitulog doon at ganun lagi. Nasanay na lang ako over time. Then dumating ang Amerikanong pinsan ng girlfriend ko at doon nagstay. After a week, nagkaroon ng family gathering. Nagkwento sa amin bakit daw may ganun siyang nararamdaman sa room. Parehong-pareho sa story ko. Nag-butt in yung tita ng girlfriend ko, nagkwento na one time naglalaro ang mga bata dun sa room na yon. Bigla na lang daw sumigaw ang isang anak niya na around 5 years old at that time, na may nakita raw na stranger na bata sa room na mukhang galit na galit at kulay pula raw ang mata. Nag-aapoy ang mata. Pangaraw ang description. Kaya mula nung nangyari yon, di na pumapasok sa room na yun ang anak niya. At first, I thought it was a sleep paralysis. But then, na-experience din ng another person. And I'm guessing hindi niya pa kinukwento yung mga na-experience niya doon to lead people to imagine some things in that room. Continuing, dagdag ko na rin ang isa sa tita ko. Nangungupahan sila dati sa isang lumang bahay kasama ang isang tito ko rin. Lagi niyang tinatawanan ng tito ko kapag nagsasabi na bayaran na ang upa the day before ng due date kasi kung hindi, magpapakita na naman sa kanya ang dating may-ari. Until one time, nagising siya ng madaling araw, half asleep, feeling daw niya may katabi siya. At yun nga, may nakatabi raw sa kanya sa higaan. Since madilim, kinuha niya ang 3210 phone pa niya that time para ilawan kung sino ang katabi niya. Doon niya nakita ang lola na katabi niya at nakahiga pero nakadilat. Tinry niyang katukin ng wall sa pagitan ng room nila ng tito ko pero sobrang hinaraw. Pero sobrang hinang-hinaraw ang katawan niya sa nangyari kaya wala man lang siyang sound na nagawa. Parang hinahaplos lang ng knuckles niya yung wall. So tinry na lang niyang tumagilid facing the other side at inantay na magliwanag at mawala ang katabi niya. Do you know people in horror movies that they seek out something weird? Like, for example, they're in the living room and then going down in the basement because they heard something in the basement. That type of horror movie. But this one, katabi niya be, so wala siyang choice. Pero imagine that, ako kasi natutulog ako ng everything is dark. I don't wanna see any light. So, I'm imagining that in my position. Feeling something beside me and then putting my flashlight against it and then someone is just like that to you? No. I'd be passed out. I'd be passing out, passing away. Next story. When my older sister came here to visit from Canada, she had with her a Filipino friend who's spiritually sensitive and can actually see ghosts. He said ghosts perceive people who are spiritually sensitive as someone with a glowing white aura-like silhouette, and that they stand out from the rest. That's why ghosts are attracted to them. So what's my silhouette, like black? No, okay. I'm not inviting anything, okay? I am not. Stop it. He shared a story with us when he was growing up in Bicol. He was a part of the church choir and they were practicing late in the afternoon. It was the first time he had seen a demon inside the church. Yes, inside. It was a veiled figure of a woman in a wedding dress sitting at the farthest bench from the altar that was silently watching them. While covered in a wedding veil, the protruding horns were apparent which were engulfed around in flames. He was so scared that he looked away for a moment. The tall entity then appeared in front of him and looked down at him before it disappeared. As fallen angels, demons still have the power of locomotion to instantly appear from one place to another. That's why angels are illustrated to have wings, not because they can fly, but they can teleport. To the Christians out there, what do you think about that? Because I don't have any say about this story. Except for the fact that was scary. That's like out of a Conjuring / The Nun movie. I don't want to experience that in my life ever. Any of this, I don't want to experience ever. So, this commenter had another story that is shared by the friend from Bicol. They said, the creepiest story that he had to share with us resides in our own residential compound. He asked my sister if he can go to the comfort room, so along the way he noticed the ghosts of two mestiza young sisters, Spanish-looking twins, standing in a corner of our garage. They were both wearing white 1920s garments and were just observing people going around. The twins are territorial and good ghosts naman. I am a little sensitive so aware ako sa spot ng twins, so whenever I go out at night to get my food order, I always hum a song, Jesus is alive. Alam kong sumusunod yung isa sa kanila pero hanggang sa door lang namin. I wouldn't go out alone. Because me ordering food is always at my thought during midnight, and I wouldn't go alone. Especially if may sumusunod. No, I wouldn't. Next story from another commenter. I experienced this way back in 2001. Okay, my birth year. Me and my family would often travel to our Lola's house in the province. The travel would take us around an hour and a half. The midway point of that travel would take us through the mountains. So one night we were heading back home. We drove along the mountain road with 2 or 3 cars ahead of us. There weren't any street lights at that time, and the only thing that helps us see was the bright moon beaming down. We were moving slower than I expected, which made me wonder. I looked around the car window and I noticed as we were heading to a curb a makeshift hut on the right side of the road. The weird part was there were people in the hut just standing there, looking at us. It was like a family of natives. Some were sitting down, some were standing while holding their baby, but no movement. Nothing. I could sense something was wrong, but I didn't say a word. Then my mom told my dad, who was driving, "Hala, Dad." But my dad didn't reply, he was just focused on his driving. Then I looked to the left side and there I saw it. It was this figure of a man that was glowing. It was walking on the side of the road, but the movement of its legs didn't match its motion of walking. It appears as if it was floating. Being a kid, I was more in awe than frightened. I stared at that figure as we passed by it. I tried to focus on his face, but there's nothing. It doesn't have one. All I see is light. And then I heard a loud click. It was my dad trying to check if the doors were locked. I looked at my mom and she was frozen solid. We eventually got off the mountains, but I heard no conversation between them for the rest of that drive. Until this day, I still remember that encounter clearly, and whenever I pass by that mountain road, I am reminded of that figure, walking, floating, glowing. If I experienced that, I would be also terrified and wouldn't forget it. But me reading that, I am debunking it. Maybe it was someone in a vest, like a vest that's reflective vest, maybe for safety because there was no street lights, and maybe he would get ran over if he didn't wear it. Yes, it would be creepy because you're on a mountain driving, no street lights or anything, of course. I also would do what your dad did, like checking the locks if it's locked, because I would be more afraid if this was a person than it being a ghost. But me now, I'm imagining, like, while you're riding down that side of the road, you see him, and then suddenly he's inside the car beside you, like, I'd be screaming. Next story. It happened 2 years ago. I worked in a government agency, tapos yung office namin noon isa sa mga pinakamatandang building sa Ortigas. So old na hindi na to actually pasado sa standard ng modern facilities. Isang malakas na lindol, pwede siya matumba. Anyway, sa pinakataas ng floor namin, flexi time kami, pwede kami pumasok between 7 to 9 a.m. Tapos kailangan mo lagi i-complete yung 9 hours. So 7 a.m. ako lagi pumapasok para walang traffic pa uwi. One time, super walang traffic. Nasa office na ako around 6 a.m. Antok pa ako noon, tas andun naman na yung isang ka-work ko na tita na. She told me pwede pa ako matulog pero wag sa table ko kasi makikita ako ng boss ko doon kasi cubicle mga tables namin. So doon ako sa isang office, nasa loob ng isang room, doon ako sa sulok na medyo madilim at natulog na ako. In short, nag-sleep paralysis ako. Di ako makagalaw at may naririnig akong malalim na gargling voice na nag-aba Ginoong Maria. Very horror movie, I know, pero totoo. And it took a while bago ako makagalaw. Once I did, as in para akong bagong ahon sa pagkakalunod. Nag-choke ako ng slide pero hindi ako gumawa ng scene. Sinabi ko yun sa friend ko at yung friend ko natural na chismosa, kinalat yung story ko sa ibang department. May isang tita na lumapit sa akin dun sa department namin nag-work, sabi niya meron daw talagang something sa room na yon. Doon madalas nakakakita ng sightings ng doppelganger ng mga ka-office mates namin. Yung tipong sa unang tingin makikita mo sila pagka second look wala na pala. And also sa part na yon ng floor lagi may naririnig na naglalakad. Wooden floor kasi, so matunog yung mga hakbang lalo na pag naka-heels ka. Akala ko nananakot lang pero kahit yung mga security guards at ilang tita sa office from other departments, kinonfirm yon. Kaya daw dati office gym yung office namin kasi para limited lang yung time na bukas siya kasi laging may nararamdaman. I heard stories before from call center agents kasi di ba may room sila to sleep in, like yung may mga bunk beds. I heard this creepy story, parang nagsisleep paralysis din siya, hindi siya makagalaw, and then may parang nakasilip kasi nasa bunk bed siya, nasa baba siya, and then nasa taas yung sumisilip sa kanya na parang ganun. And then nasa baba siyang bunk bed. Oh my god, that was so creepy. I can't. Next story. One of my male cousins, let's call him A, went to college in the city. One day I was surprised to see him roaming the streets of our barangay leading his cow towards the field. It's a school day then. He was rarely home since he got into college, so I was surprised to see him. I even greeted him, asking him why he isn't at school. He just smiled and continued on his way, which is a bit unusual. That noon, one of the neighbors went to our house to talk with a mom. The neighbor said she saw A and expressed the same shock as I did to see him here because we all thought he was at the city for his studies. My mom was confused. She said A is at the city. In fact, his mom, who is very close to my mom, said that A had wanted to come home for the past few days due to homesickness, but couldn't because he caught a fever, so his mom was preparing to go to the city that day to take care of him. All of us were shocked and confused because we saw him in person and talked to him. It was weird, he just smiled and didn't reply, but nonetheless, we saw him in person. I told my mom what happened earlier and we all got concerned because there's no way we would mistake him. My mom called his mom to confirm, and his mom confirmed they're at the city and she's currently taking care of him that very moment. So who was the A we just encountered earlier? That's a mystery that haven't been solved until now. Some of our neighbors who are very spiritual theorized that it could be him, a projection of him that was in our barangay that day. His strong desire to come home kind of had his spirit leaving his body to come home. That's why he got sick physically, according to them. Is it a projection? Is it a doppelganger? What it might be, we don't know. Next story. Not horror story, but creepy experience. I don't clearly recall, but the year is 2014 to 2015. I used to stay alone in our apartment beside St. Jude Catholic School, the one beside Malacanang Palace. When I used to study there, madami daw pinatay sa area na yon noong panahon ng Hapon at martial law dahil malapit din yan sa area ng Pasig River. On weekdays and nighttime, parang walang nakatira sa apartments doon. Sobrang tahimik, madidinig mo yung rustling of plastics and paper sa street. I don't believe in ghosts talaga and I am an atheist. So one night, after a few weeks of stay sa apartment namin alone, around 10 to 12 p.m., pinapatay ko yung mga ilaw namin dahil wapakas naman ako sa mga mumu and hindi ako matatakotin. So I fell asleep at may bumubulong sa tenga ko. At first sabi ko dream or guni-guni ko lang at pag madinig ko ulit to, tsaka ako maniniwala. At I continued sleeping. After ilang seconds, a much stronger and vivid hello nadinig ko sa right or left ear ko. I don't really remember which ear at doon na ako kinilabutan at tumayo para i-open yung lights at minessage ko agad yung girlfriend ko that time and my family for video call. Sakto pa mahina ang signal and maya-maya maraming nagbagsakan sa loob ng comfort room sa kwarto na yon. Wala naman hangin na malakas para bumagsak yung mga nasa toilet. Napuyat ako that night and hindi na ako nag-sleep doon. Next story. Oh my gosh, we're blowing through a lot of stories today. Commenter said, Kwento from a soldier. Soldiers in a forested area somewhere in Visayas. Nagchisismisan yung mga sundalo habang nagsiset up ng camp para sa training nila. Bigla daw may ungol na malakas from somewhere nearby. Hindi sila sigurado kung aso or tao. Lumapit yung lieutenant nila sa mga puno to check. Flashed around with flashlight to check around and called, "Hello?" After a while, may sumagot pabalik ng, "Hello?" with same voice from deep in the trees. The lieutenant cocked his long rifle and immediately ordered his squad back towards a nearby road. He didn't take the risk of something ambushing them. I'm having hella goosebumps. I'm imagining Appalachian things right now because I've been listening to Appalachian podcasts right now, and I'm hoping to cover that in one of the episodes. But going into the next story. Year 2015, August or September, if I'm not mistaken. This happened sa bahay ng parents ko. Dalawa na lang kami ng bunso kong kapatid ang tumatao sa bahay ng parents namin. Dahil wala naman na yung parents namin at yung iba naming mga kapatid ay nasa ibang bansa na that time o nakabukod na. Condolences. Tapos halos weekly na lang din kami nakakauwi sa bahay dahil nasa ibang lugar din mga work namin at nangungupahan kami. So every off ko, madalas ako lang nasa bahay or pag nagkasabay off namin ng kapatid, dalawa kami. Pero nung weekend na to, nag-iisa lang ako. BPO first job ko after makagraduate while waiting makaalis ng Pinas. Dahil sanay ako sa graveyard shift, kahit pati off ko, umaga na rin ako natutulog. 5 a.m. nun, nang nag-decide akong matulog at lahat ng ilaw na ay in-off ko. Ilaw lang ng veranda ang nagbibigay liwanag sa sala. Maulan din nung time na to, kaya medyo mahirap ipinid ang pinto ng kwarto dahil maga ang door jamb. Pero sure akong sarado at lapat yon. Pumesto ako sa bed, nagkumot, saka dumapa. After ilang minutes niyan, nakatulog na ako. Maya-maya nagising ako na may tumatapik sa puwet ko. Hindi lang isang beses, pero sunod-sunod na tapik. Yung tapik na parang emergency. Nung medyo nahimasmasan ako, nilingon ko yung tumatapik sa akin. Pero bago ko pa man makita itsura niya, tumatakbo na siya palabas ng room. Pero nakaputing sando, nasa 4 to 6 ang edad, base sa height, lalaki. Pagtingin ko sa oras, 5:28 pa lang. Bumangon ako at yung pinto na sinarado ko bago ako natulog, bukas na. Binuksan ko ang ilaw sa sala at dumiretso sa kusina. Walang tao. Tahimik. Binuksan ko ang bintana para sipatin ang tita namin at apo niya na kapitbahay namin. Sarado pa rin sila. May susi ng bahay sina tita ko in case of emergency. Namamag-asa ako na baka pamangkin ko lang yung tumatapik sa akin at nanggising para makipaglaro. Pero hindi. Pagkatapos ko i-check ang buong bahay, bumalik ako sa bed at di na natulog. Pero sure ako, kakambal yun ng bunso kong kapatid. Nakikipaglaro siguro. Pero ang sad naman na parang naiwan na siya dun mag-isa. You know? Na if ever it's real, naiwan na siya dun mag-isa kasi madalang na lang sila umuwi. Maybe namimiss sila, ganun. That's creepy but still a bit sad. Next story. This happened during pandemic. I think that was around 2 a.m. I was already asleep. Naalimpungatan lang ako kasi nag-buzz yung phone ko. So I checked what it was about. Pero it wasn't anything important naman kaya babalik na sana ako sa pagtulog nung Napansin ko na parang may white na ewan sa paanan ng kutsyon ko. Maliit lang yung room ko and nakadikit sa wall yung bed ko, lying just below the window. So from my POV, there was something at the corner of my room. Noong una sabi ko pa, lagot na naman ako kay mama, may sapot-sapot na naman kwarto ko. Tapos since naaalingkungatan nga lang ako, parang ang labo-labo ng mata ko. Yung feeling na may muta ka pa. Plus the fact na nearsighted talaga ako. Kaya I was trying so hard to make out ano yung puti na yun. Habang tinititigan ko yun, unti-unti nagkakaroon ng figure. I'm pretty sure it was a man. About more than 5 feet tall, standing and staring directly back at me. Even though I couldn't make out its face, I surprised myself din na ang chill ko lang din during that time. I was like, oh shit. Pag tinitignan ko po to, it'll be on my face the next time I blink. So I did the smart thing to do and went back to sleep under the covers. Yes, nagtalokbong na lang ako at bumalik sa pagtulog. Kinaumagahan, I checked that corner agad and malinis siya. Walang sapot or anything. So I was sure that that was an apparition of some sort. Almost forgot to mention, days before that, a chopped cadaver was found floating sa river na malapit sa amin. Kaya I pretty much had an idea to whom that spirit in my room belonged to. Hindi naman na siya nahulit and as of today, wala pa naman ulit nagparamdam or something. No. Because the layout of that room is similar to my room. So that was a bit personal to me. We're not gonna talk further about that because that's too creepy for me, too personal, so no. Next story. Nasaan si Sherlyn? Sabi niya nasaan daw si Sherlyn, hindi ko alam ba't may nahanap sa akin. Okay, I was in 6th grade noon, tapos naglalaro kami sa tapat ng room namin kasi break time. And habang naglalaro kami, may madungis na high school student, female, na tinatanong yung mga klase ko kung nasaan si Sherlyn. Eh di ginawa nila is sinamahan nila si ating high school student papunta sa room knowing nakakilala or kamag-anak niya yung kaklase kong babae. Nung nasa tapat na sila ng room, tinawag nila si Sherlyn kasi may naghahanap daw at nung pagkapunta ni Sherlyn sa labas, biglang nawala yung high school student. As in nawala. Nagulat yung mga classmate ko na sinamahan siya kasi magkakatabi lang sila kaya imposibleng mawala bigla yung babae. Yung kaklase kong kumausap din sa high school student ay takot na takot tapos si Sherlyn na hinahanap ng multo ay hysterical na kasi bakit daw siya hinahanap. None of us saw her na umalis. Kahit ikabilang section na nasa labas din, walang nakakita. Di nila alam kung sino yung babae o anong pakay niya. Wala ding idea si Sherlyn. Sherlyn, wala ka bang mabibigay na information? Nasaan nga ba si Sherlyn? Maybe the right question would be, nasan yung high school student? Let's do this last story. Nung bata pa ako, nagloko yung doorknob sa kwarto ko at kailangan baklasin. Di pinalitan kaya may bilog na butas sa pinto. After mangyari yun, madalas na ako nagigising ng madaling araw. Madilim sa kwarto dahil walang bintana pero may ilaw na nakabukas sa labas ng kwarto. Kaya yung ilaw lumulusot sa butas ng pinto. Pero sa tuwing nagigising ako, walang ilaw na sumisilaw. Tinignan ko yung pinto at di ko matanaw yung butas. Tinitigan ko lang hanggang sa nag-adjust na yung mata ko at doon ako kinabahan at kinilabutan. May matang nakasilip sa butas ng pinto. Dilat na dilat at diretsyong nakatingin sa akin. Tumalikod agad ako ng higa at pinilit matulog pero di ko maiwasan dumilat na baka sumisilaw na uli. Yung ilaw sa butas ng pinto, pero madilim pa rin. Ilang oras na ganon napasilip-silip ako pero madilim pa rin. Nakasilip lang kung sino man nilalang dun sa labas ng pinto. Nakatulog na ako sa puyat at takot. Pagdating ng umaga, wala nang nakasilip sa pinto. Sinabi ko sa magulang ko pero di sila naniwala. Ilang beses to nangyari, Kahit harangan ko ng papel, ng panyo, ng kahit ano ay natatanggal kinaumagahan at alam kong may nakasilip uli sa akin. Pinipilit ko ang tatay ko na lagyan na ng doorknob, dun na tumigil. Pero may mga beses na sumusubok buksan yung doorknob kahit umaga at pagbukas ko naman ng pinto ay walang tao. No, because I will not allow this to happen to me. Because I would stick pencil through that hole and poke their eye. Because you will not do this to me. I will not allow that. But I don't think I would be brave enough to do that. I would also just sleep too. I would just close my eyes and just nothing happened. Nothing happened. Kahit anong ilagay mong stuff dun sa butas ng doorknob, they keep on, maybe manyak tong multong to. Like, stop being a pervert. Stop doing that. Minamask ko yung takot ko with humor because these stories are creepy. They are creepy. Some are debunkable, but still creepy. Very creepy. I wouldn't want this to happen to me. No. I like reading them. I'm sorry to you OPs, but I wouldn't want that to happen to me. Sorry. I wouldn't. No. If you love this type of content, like this video and subscribe, maybe comment some of your creepy stories down below and I might read them on some of the next episodes. Maybe some of you got triggered from these stories, some triggered memories and stuff, and horror and paranormal. Nothing triggered from my personal experience because as I've said, I do not have any paranormal experiences and I'm not planning to have one. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode of Elaine's Horror Club. Bye.